Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to take one of these massage tables and turn it into a custom tattooing table that you're able to wipe down. It's going to be sterile, and we're going to basically put a fabric over it and then put this like plastic layer over top of it, so then that way after we take our barrier off, we're going to be able to wipe down the table just in case there was any type of contaminants that got onto the table. That way it is sterile and clean for your next client. Stay tuned. All right, so I'm not a professional at this, but I have redone most of my tattooing furniture. Actually, I've done all of my tattooing furniture, and I kind of have it down to a science. So I'm going to show you the tools that you're going to need and the different fabric that you're going to need. So you are going to want to get some type of fabric. Obviously, I went to Joann Fabric for this, and they just sell it by the yard, I believe. So basically just measure the thing that you're going to be covering and get the proper amount of fabric. You're going to need a little bit extra just because it needs to go around the sides of the actual furniture. A screwdriver to pry out the staples that you mess up, a staple gun, and this, basically old people cover their couches with it. I don't even know what it's called. It's just basically a plastic layer. You want to get the thicker one because then that way the staples holding it better over time when your clients are sitting on the piece of furniture. Then you are going to need one of these tattooing beds. Well, they're massage tables, but use them as a tattooing bed. The thing I don't like about these is that these are porous. Even though it is a smooth surface, and a lot of tattoo artists thinks you can just wipe those down. They are definitely porous, and if you get blood in that, it's definitely not going to come out as easily as if it was just a, piece of plastic that you're able to wipe down that is not porous. So the number one reason to do this is the cleanliness factor, to where you're able to wipe this down, but also just because I can now put comic book covers all over my furniture, which is really cool. You're basically just going to start by removing any type of hardware that's going to be in your way of stapling the fabric and the plastic to the actual bed. You can't staple it to the sides because there's no wood there, but on the bottom, that's where you're going to have to staple it. So fabric has to come over, so this stuff has to come off. Now, certain stuff you don't have to remove, just because you're gonna have to bring the fabric just right over the edge, just by like an inch. So like this kind of thing you can leave on because it's in the middle. This won't even be covered, so you don't have to worry about that. I totally forgot to mention, you will need scissors to cut the fabric and the plastic, so add that to the you need this to do this project list. So I totally apologize for the lighting of this video. I am in the back hallway of the shop and it's pretty terrible, but I will do my best. All right, so as you can see, I have my fabric laid face down. So you want the pattern that you want showing facing the floor. And then you take the piece that you're about to wrap and you put that face down also. You want to make sure that the fabric is coming over the edge. I would say at least this much. And I mean, you're gonna trim this too. So you just wanna make sure that you have enough before you actually cut the piece that you're going to be using, because if you cut too small of a piece, then you are going to have to go back to the store and buy more. Now that I have all of my pieces cut out, I can start stapling. So now you start stapling. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that the fabric is tight enough to where it's not going to look all wrinkly and baggy, but you're not doing it too tight to where the staples are going to rip through the fabric. So you just bring it up and you start stapling. Basically follow the pattern that the piece of furniture already has, but just kind of move the staples up a little bit, so then that way it's not hitting these ones and getting in your way. Usually what I'll do is I'll do one right in the middle, and then I'll do one on each end. So then that way it keeps the whole thing even, and then I do it on the opposite end, and then I start on this side, do the same thing, and then I go to that side, and then that way it's all evenly taut, and then I move on to the corners. Now that every side has 3 staples in, one in the middle and one on each end, you're gonna go back and staple in between each one probably like 2 or 3 times, depending on how big your piece of furniture is. So in that way, this is more sturdy. And you just do that with everything. So now comes a lot of stapling. So once you've stapled in between all of your other staples, now you're gonna do the edges. You want to make sure that it's freely moving like this. So this way, this is the best way I've found. I don't know if it's the best way, but it's the best way that I've found. You basically take this end and you're gonna wanna staple it right here. Not too close to the corner, but pretty close. And then you're gonna fold this back out, and then you're gonna do the same exact thing with this corner. And then you basically take this and tuck this in here and then fold out. So then that way you have this nice crease basically. And then you're gonna staple this down. And you're gonna do the same thing on the other side over here. And then you do that to all the corners. And you do the same exact thing that you just did with all of the fabric with the plastic stuff, which is even more difficult to work with. But you just gotta be patient and you will get it. It is a lot of stapling. It does take a lot of time, but it will look really cool. If I think of anything else, I'll keep filming. But yeah. So when you are cutting the excess fabric off of here, you don't want to cut too close to where the staples are. So my staple's right here, and the staple is right here. I'll probably cut maybe like a ½ inch away from it. Just so I don't have this big like flap, but also I don't want to cut too close to it, because if I cut too close, then somebody's gonna sit on it one day and this fabric is going to rip right off. And then you're gonna have a really terrible looking comic book bed. But how cool does that look? Not done yet, but pretty sweet. Once it's all trimmed, it should look similar to this. Neat and nice. I just have to go over this one with the plastic, and I'm done with it. 2 more to go, a chair and a headrest. So yesterday I basically ran out of time because I was way too tired and it was like 10:30 at night and I needed to wake up early today. So I went home and then I started this again today and I finally finished it. I'm really happy with the way it turned out and it's very comfortable and I'm excited for my clients to be able to sit on this. I think it's going to make their time here easier and my job also easier too, because it seems like I'll be able to put people into more comfortable positions, which will make it more easy for me to work. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.